Okay, good morning, everybody. Hope your evening went well.
Well, it's time to wrap up another trading day. June the 5th is almost behind us. The E-mini is going to close strong. I really want y'all to
England is expected to keep their rates unchanged.
This morning. We came in,
European Central Bank
stock market has rallied in expectations
cut their rates
of an ECB
by 10
rate
15
cut,
basis points,
0.10
keep them above zero, but there is some talk that we're going to go to a negative number.
And they were hopeful
like
that they would get a negative return on deposits. And
they can also change their banking reserve requirements.
This negative return on deposits and lower interest rates frees up money that has to go somewhere.
Not all Draghi picks up the mic at 8:30.
It'll go into the European stock market.
What they have. Japan, the articles out there have said that the market expects more than a 10-15 basis point cut. Now,
and what did we get? We got a very
European
strong
Central Bank is restricted.
I thought we would have a trading range
directly
capped by 35, and
but
on the top side,
they
20
can.
On the downside. We got down pretty close to 20, I believe the low is 21.
So we'll see what we got, but it's down to the news.
Stops above 40. So we got a higher low.
They do just strictly cut their rates by 10 to 15 basis points on an interest rate differential.
Now, tomorrow's an interesting
you can get paid
opportunity
more
for us because the
on
news,
U.S. paper than you can
as
on
forecast,
European Central Bank paper.
Is supported for the indexes,
that will
but
tend
it's
to
going to be
support
built
the dollar,
into the
which will
market.
tend to support our treasuries. So initial resistance
right
here
looking
is
for
20
non-farm
to 24,
payroll jobs to be up 220,000.
Followed by our 28 to 25.
Negate this week's ADP number, which really didn't impact the markets much negatively. The market
it is aggressive, a 19 to 23 sell,
and
a 27 to 31 sell.
All the good news is out. We've had the
where
ECB, what they've
sorts
done.
up, but it really is down to the news.
So the biggest dynamic that I can see to the short
when
side,
Draghi picks up the mic, we'll have jobless claims.
1950
is supposed to be greater
is the
than
target.
Last week's. They're looking for 310.
And
but it'll probably this number will probably be lost.
Better than expected number tomorrow
by Draghi's news.
We could get there tomorrow morning, bright and early. So right now we've had double distribution to the high side.
Looking just strictly at the structure where we are,
again,
you've got a low right here at 25 and a half.
Looking to buy weakness.
You've got a high up here at 125 even.
This
is
morning,
your prime sell territory.
From the 33.
London's last rotate up stopped at 31.5.
As long as we stay above 33, 34,
lean against
this
that
market
London
is pointed higher. And in fact, the last rotate down was 36.
20 to 24 area.
So our first buy is going to be 35, 37. It is aggressive as hell.
We'll be able to get closer to 24 than to 20 to stop
it before tomorrow. And then we have our 30 to 32 for buy 2. The easiest trade to see, and this is for the overnight only, is selling failure to extend the range today. It's a short-term trade. You would not want to carry
Greg, it's
tomorrow's news.
I mean, it's just
failure to take
context.
out 40, 42.
Draghi, if you've watched his news announcements this year, he's had just.
And on the buy side, we're buying euro 35 to 37. It is a very aggressive trade. We saw last night we had absolutely no range.
So it's just watching.
We're going to trade from the long side. Now,
just
the
watching.
bond and note are strong today too. And part of this money
to different news
that comes out,
but the central piece of news this morning was the European Central
bonds and notes.
European Central Bank's rate announcement.
The European Central Bank did today.
Not rocket
we have an outside
stuff.
Day.
You track the markets. Draghi probably has very little to do with your crude trading.
Turns this market around and rallies.
It was announced. The rate announcement is at 7:45 Eastern.
The start of the rally.
He picks up the mic at 8:30 Eastern.
Came out
that should have been some of those articles I posted this morning.
2320 to 24 area.
But you can go get that off.
That's probably really good support. We've got an outside day today that
Market
you can see.
Watch. You can
outside
get it
day
off
usually
of
means trading range.
Econo Day.
The numbers, if as forecast,
Bloomberg
are
News.
negative for this one, for the financials. And the easiest trade to see would be we'll get tomorrow's numbers.
Here we are.
It doesn't break.
Again, I'm just saying
break a market.
We're to a news announcement now. My guess is that we've got next week's auction. We've got the non-farm payroll.
So on this screen, we come out and trading.
Once Draghi's statements are out of the way, which come at 8:30 Eastern,
the game's the same on F2
payroll. and they're looking at 220.
We came in this morning wanting to sell failure
right
to take
now.
out
That may be
20
revised
to
lower
24.
given the ADP
We had a sell
number.
recommendation of 19
That
to
number is
23,
supportive for
and 27 to
indexes.
31.
It's
The
not
high was
so
22.5 during the day session.
Financials.
Number
So
one
I
resistance
think
area holds.
Friday's
That takes us
non-farm
to our
payroll
number
will cap our
2
rally at
support,
some
and
point.
our
The
number
issue
2
is,
buy
is
this
it
morning was
24? Is it
1
at 28?
to
Is it at
5.
the buck?
The
And
session
I
low
don't
was
really
1.
You really don't know when you get into it. So I'm
was
looking for
22.5.
really good support in this 8 to 12 area. So we'll make our
You
first
had that
buy,
information in your
9
hands
to 13
before the market opened. You had plenty of time to act upon it. So
And
right
our
here,
second buy,
the
1
sell's
to
going to
5
remain
to
the
get
same.
started.
We're going to sell failure to take out
Depending on
20 to
how
24.
far we go off the rate announcement, we could raise that up.
Open it up a little bit to the downside. We're at 15 right now. Last rotate down stopped at 9. So we're going to buy 8s to 12s. Buy 1. Might take a 13 to get in, but that's only 2 seconds away. And then our second buy is going to be 1 to 5, just where it was this morning. And long term, what the European Central Bank did today was supportive for our financials.
Okay, I have Comtasia came out and made. I picked up their
knob spread is holding where it was.
8.4 versions recorded, and none of the recordings I made
10
yesterday
plus 28.
had audio. Don Manning said you can barely
So we
hear
haven't
me.
gotten
in
a
the
lot of
background.
action there. We don't have people kick in.
So,
But remember,
I'm
the
gonna
dynamics
go to
after an
Comtasia
auction
today and
week
ask him what's the deal.
are
What
to
little
sell
button or
financials
switch
to
needs
set
to be
up the
turned
next
on.
week's auction.
Usually,
Next
when you
week's auction
upload new software, it keeps all your previous
is for
settings.
the 3, 10, and 30 year. And
we
they've
will
gotten
see.
pretty heavy short
This morning, so I apologize for
this week. So
yesterday's.
they've got plenty of futures contracts to cover and buy back, which will ultimately
lack
support
of
the 3,
audio,
10,
and Nancy
30-year
tells me it's the
auctions.
day before too.
Okay,
So
19s to 23, sell
I
1.
had asked for feedback,
Sell
and I've
2,
gotten it.
27 to
So
31. That's just where
we'll
we
see
were
what we
this
got.
morning. That was our recommendation. So
I
the
did change
high
one switch this
20.
morning, so
You were able
hopefully
to
I
get
found
off a
out what
short
the problem was.
in the,
But we'll find out here in a moment.
30-year.
Okay, looking at the
Our buys this
30-year,
morning,
we're
1 to
10
5,
plus 28 on the knob
and then
spread. We had more
21
liquidation
to
yesterday in the
25,
30-year.
and we got all the way down to 15.
Taking it back down. This rally started out of the
A period. The correction.
there's two areas: 920
1
on the knob spread,
resistance
or
to
1016.
2
It looks
support.
like we're headed for
Got
1016.
build this into your thinking. Gives you areas where you want to get long or short. So the buy side,
so the numbers are pretty much the same
7,
on this
we're at
one.
11 because we've got a little extra volatility here. We'll make 1 to 5, buy 1.
We have a 19 to
and we'll make 21,
sell,
25, buy 2.
27 to 31.
Looking for 220 non-farm payrolls.
On the buy side, the low is 5.
6.4%.
We're at 12. This is really aggressive.
The news, you got the trade in at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
We have to pay, but we'll
over
start out
100
trying to buy 1s
officials
to 5s like
in our
yesterday.
government, this administration, and various bureaucracies will
And
know.
if we bust
what
135,
tomorrow's numbers are.
I'm going to drop it down to 25.
And there is 0% correlation between the
knob
ADP
spread.
number and the Bureau of Labor Statistics number. So you can't draw inferences from that, although generally speaking, if the ADP number is higher or lower, they'll adjust the non-farm payroll number higher or lower too. Okay, gold is telling us that
decidedly
inflation's
quiet
back on the
overnight.
table, and that's got to make them
Everybody
happy at
thinks
the European Central Bank.
Europe cuts their
That's
rate.
the goal of all of this is to devalue that currency. So
gold
we have
should
a seller at 16.
come down a little bit more,
as
but
you
not
will
a
see
lot.
from the screens.
We've been talking about 12.15
I think we got a pretty good shot of seeing 12.15 to 12.35 before this is over.
Because of the volume and the
I don't mind
distributions.
getting short in the 12.55.
The market is decidedly under pressure.
We're at 53.
The real reason long-term is under
55
pressure is that the large institutions are no longer buying the
will be
physical
sell
metal,
1.
letting it sit. They want to earn at
62
least
will be
something
sell
via
2.
dividends or interest on their
on the buy
on their
side,
money.
we broke
So
this baby
holding
out
physical
at
gold
47,
because the fear
48.
of
We're at
collapse
53,
is
so
diminishing.
48.50
Is
buy
not
1. I
high
think the
on their
market's
agenda. We
got
left
a pretty
last
good
night
chance of
wanting
being
to
on
sell
hold
the
into our employment figures tomorrow. and 43.45 for buy 2.
Right piece of paper here.
But I have to say that I like the sell side
50.
a little better than the buy side. Not overwhelmingly.
We've got a high a little bit over
adamant
47.
It,
it still seems
I think,
reasonable
because of large institutional selling.
And then 50
got a better chance of visiting 1235 or better than we do.
Because I think we can trade lower. Let's put this 35.37 as buy one kind of in this area.
The euro, who knows? That thing was all over the map today. Really
make
strong.
Make it 29 to 31 for buy two.
News articles, the wire coming out
now,
on the wires.
From my perspective,
point to the fact that
Draghi
did not
Europe
do enough.
Cuts
they
the
really
rates,
want quantitative easing, and they're going to show him that he's got to do it, or they're going to take the price of the euro
to
up.
stoke up
You have to. I'm going to change the scale on this.
While the expectations are for the market to sell, the inflation
you have to remember that the market
should temper that selling. So I'd like to buy the 1215 area, but we may have to commit to the long side.
And we got a real strong market right now. We're above 136.50 and holding it. So that means 137 is within reach. That would be 50.
So I think we'll have some support when we head down.
Got a high volume number at
lower.
76. Got a high of 70
in gold, and you know we haven't been able to break the 40-42 area.
Selling
either, so that's a possibility.
65, 75 area looks pretty good. I think.
Okay, we've got one hell of a news spike both ways.
Today was short
on the
cover.
Euro.
Market on
made
close,
it back
short
up
cover.
to 136.50.
Tell the large
institutions
institutions
great place
do
to
it.
sell it. It has been a great place to sell it, as you will see.
S2 will be 36.90 to 137.
35.
Last rotate down was 07. We're at 52.
We have said that 135
the overnight will make
has been our minimal trading
by
target.
one because of tomorrow's unemployment numbers.
And I think the market is headed for that. Obviously, 35.50 is going to bring in some profit taking. So 50 to 60 will be buy one. It'll be a bounce.
You just have to. Draghi's got to be over there pulling his hair out.
15 to 25 buy two.
What does a central banker have to do?
The market spilled from the 85 area. We're at 65, so 75, 85.
And again, we've talked about it a lot that Draghi doesn't
volatility
have near the power that our
36,
Fed
10
does because he can't buy
sell too.
securities in the open market.
And our assessment that the euro would be down on.
And last but not least, crude. We've had it a 103 to a 102 minus, 103 plus.
Was correct.
Last couple of days.
So they cut at 10 basis points, and that was widely expected. So they're paying
150 held. If you add 100 points, that
105 basis points
would be the number that pops up.
Thanks, Don. I think we're headed to 135.
Currently at 102.58.
The European Central Bank
almost
would
made it
certainly
to
like that.
So this market is pointed higher. I think we'll
depending on which currency is higher.
We want to sell.
You can price crude out of the Middle East on the euro.
So against 103 if
dollar
possible,
or
so
on
275 to 103 sell one.
So based
and
on
3 1/4
dollar
50 sell
strength,
two. Not really enamored with getting long down here at 102, but 102.
There will not be a compelling reason to rally crude this morning to make up
and buy
for
to $101.50, $101.75.
I think crude is still pointed a little bit lower,
and that
but
does
because
it
of what's
for
going on
June
in Ukraine and potentially what's going on
2014.
the South China Sea.
I mean,
China
you just
is
cannot help
stirring the nest with the Philippines,
and
stirring the
wonder
nest
that
with Vietnam. They're trying to see what our reaction is
day
going to
in,
be,
day
and I
out.
can already tell them what our reaction
Stop and
is going
think
to be.
about it.
We may
blessed
shake our
you
finger
are
at them, but
having
nothing
access
more than
to
that.
this-
And the Chinese
these
know
types
that.
of possibilities.
You know,
Enough to make you feel
it's,
grateful. You know what I mean. Y'all have a great evening. I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We got 1 to 2 inches of rain
there
across
was a
a great deal of
cartoon out
Kansas.
the other day talking
helps
about
the corn
how
and bean crop.
our
The wheat
administration
crop
negotiates.
is done.
It was
You won't be
basically
adding
what do you
to
want?
it, so.
Here it is. You sure
right
that's
now,
not enough?
corn and bean. And
You don't want more?
alfalfa growers
so,
are pretty happy. But the wheat farmers, their die is cast next year for the wheat crop. Y'all have a great evening. See you at 6:45.
You just have to sit back and shake your head.
I'm out of here.
And now, of course, the soldiers that came up on this really a deserter when you get right down to it in the face of hostile fire. In the military, that is punishable by death. They won't do it. Obviously, they're not going to do it to this guy. But the people that point out this guy's actual record are being trashed by the toadies that flame people on the internet. I mean, it really, none of these people had the courage to raise their hand and cross the line when called. And to see what they do to people that do have the courage to do that. Of course, they're so important. Their lives are too valuable. Okay, we'll just play for a trading range here, 102 minus 103 plus on crude. That's what it has been. I think it has a lower bias because of the increased production from Iran. We've just told Iran that they can raise their oil. They can sell more oil out there and generate more revenues for the home team, which means they can put more money into creating nuclear weapons. That's good. Back in the old days, when I was flying and involved in the Cold War, because of the communist philosophy, which is probably the most materialistic philosophy in the world, they don't mind people under them dying, but they sure as hell ain't going to stick their necks out. So the likelihood of a nuclear exchange between Russia and the United States was zero, just because of that philosophy. But when you give atomic weapons to people that can't wait to get to heaven, and especially killing others to pad their way to heaven and get higher up on the ladder, that's a different matter. So when I was flying, I always thought the nuclear exchange would be between Pakistan and India. And I haven't really. So giving the weapon to the Muslim world out there really increases the chances of a nuclear exchange. Okay, I started resistance at 30, 32, and then 35. So this morning coming in, we were looking at a 29.31 sell right in here, and then a 34.36 sell. Thought the market was going to make new highs. I thought we might be held in check. At the top wouldn't totally come off by tomorrow's non-farm payroll number. On the buy side, 23.25 is support. I'd like to get a little cheaper than that, but that is buy one. Let them come down, and we do have enough volume down here at 25 to pull the market back down to it, and then 20 to 22. So I've got support 20 to 25, and I got resistance basically at 30. And my guess is that when Draghi's comments are over at 8:30 Eastern, that Friday's or tomorrow's numbers will hold the market in check. We will see what happens. Like I said, after Draghi is, it looks like, so we've got the European, I'll have to go back and read the articles, but apparently they're going to charge you to put deposits at the European Central Bank. You go from paying no interest on it to a charge. Now the hope is that that will force the banks to lend. But people borrow money to expand on the idea of better economy to follow. And I don't think anybody out there can make that claim right now. Okay, it'll take about 20 minutes to get everything up, around, and posted. I'm going to get busy on that right now. Go read the articles. In the meantime, good trading. I think today's rally in the financials will be capped either at 24, 28, or the buck. Probably should have pretty good support down in the 8 to 12 area on the note. think that we'll find sellers in the E-mini in the 30 to 35 area, and getting started buyers at 20 to 25. So we'll see how she plays in a bit.